Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me, Megan Hoffmeyer.
Sarah Newark, DJ Valentine, Billy Business, and Brendan Peters. This is Nandi Boetes. This is Nathan Leahy. David Cross. It's Jake Lewitt. Norbert Morvan. It's Lisa Leahy. Joey Lewandowski. John Levingood. Professor Mike Dillon. Nick Riak. Niall Moore. Adam Youngblood Hunt. Eric Hoffmeyer. It's Johnny Nunn. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who always stuns his ride while being chased by people on another planet. It's Niall Moore.
Hey, how you doing, Mark? I'm not sure what we should do with this podcast. Should we just take our Wrath of Khan episode and switch who says what and then just call it a day?
Oh, man. This movie, Niall.
There's a lot to say about it that is positive. It's really well made,
And it zips.
and really, like, technically it is an excellently made piece of film, but I just hate the choices they made.
Yes.
I just absolutely hate the choices they made with rehashing Wrath of Khan. There was no need.
You know what's crazy too? So I wanted to get in J.J. Abrams' mindset. I wanted to get into the writers' mindsets when they wrote this. And this thing was delayed for years and years and years. Like, they just couldn't get a script. They were supposed to shoot in 2010. They were supposed to shoot then. They couldn't shoot then. They kept having to delay it. And I think, Robert Orci, Alex Kurtzman, Damon Lindelof, J.J. Abrams, they didn't know what to do. I don't think any of them knew what to do with this. And then I think finally they just went, you know what? Let's just do Khan. Just do Khan. And let's cast Benedict Cumberbatch to take over for Ricardo Montalban and just make him a super soldier and have a weird... Kirk is mad at Spock because Spock wrote in a report, and it's just, this is a mess. And even JJ says it. JJ said that he was not happy. So years later, he basically said, he's like, I just wasn't happy with it. And he said he helped a little bit here and there. He's like, it wasn't anybody's fault. It was mine. And he said that they were just a collection of scenes written by his friends. That's what he called this movie. And he said, I found myself frustrated about my choices and unable to hang my hat on an undeniable thread of the main story. So then I found myself on that movie basically tap dancing as well as I could to try and make the sequences as entertaining as possible. So that explains why it's good. And then he goes, thank God I had the cast that we have to make it so much fun to watch. And he's like, I don't think the movie didn't work. He's like, but I could have made some better decisions before we started shooting. And he said
That's fair.
Yeah, right?
That's relatively self-aware for JJ.
and he said too, he was like, what was between Spock and Kirk? He's like, what was their issue? What was their dynamic? What was their problem? He answered, and it wasn't really clear. And like, he's very open about it. But what's crazy is he's being open about a movie with a 7.7 IMDb score and a Rotten Tomato score of 84%. And without adjusting for inflation, it's the highest grossing Star Trek film ever. And like, yeah, it's so it's weird that he's apologizing for it because people seem to like it, but it's a mess and it's not good, but it looks good.
Yeah, it's
oh, sorry, I was waiting for you.
It's, if you look at the behind the scenes where they were making it, they all loved what they were doing and what they were working on, the individual bits of it, but it didn't have that throughput. It didn't have any sense of, let's shoehorn in this villain. He's a famous Star Trek villain, but they didn't understand why Khan worked as a villain, which we went into on the Wrath of Khan thing. It wasn't just because he was villainous. It was because there was this shared connection between him and Kirk, and he wanted revenge on Kirk for something that had happened years before. And this was something that was driving the plot. It was vengeance rather than, hey, I am a bad dude. I have an army of super soldiers that I kind of want to resurrect. And I've got a Badmiral, Mr. Marcus Peter Weller.
Admiral. Star Trek Badmiral.
Admiral Robocop, who for some reason has got me working on torpedoes, and obviously must know his history because Khan is in the history books. This is kind of a well-known person that Khan was supposedly a dictator on Earth before he was shot off into space. This is all backstory. So this dude decides, hey, let's take this guy who was pretty evil and really into enslaving people, and I'm going to give him kind of free reign to build weapons for me, and that's not going to go wrong at all.
And I'm going to put a statue of my giant ship in my office that no one knows about.
Yeah, my giant secret ship. It's
Okay, explain the plot. Go from point A to point Z.
We start on some red planet, which apparently took 6 months of work to paint all the leaves red, which seems like an awful waste of resources. But the people who did it seem to enjoy doing it.
I watched that too. So much work.
There might have been more efficient ways to do this, but anyway, they spent 6 months painting leaves. Cool. And they kind of bend the Prime Directive, and Spock files this report saying that, hey, we kind of bent the Prime Directive, and Kirk didn't say anything about it, and he gets a dressing down, and then Khan has magic blood and bribes some guy into healing his daughter and becoming a suicide bomber, which then causes everyone to go to a meeting, which he then blows up or shoots up, and then for some reason he's able to teleport halfway across the galaxy because stupid things from Star Trek 1 continuing into this with the transwarp beaming
all the way
nonsense.
across. Yeah.
It
you
just
see Niall's face right now, everybody. He's just looking up into nothing and shaking his head. I love it.
It was bad enough in Star Trek, the 2009, as we talked about last time, where they were able to beam from this planet onto the moving Enterprise, but being able to beam from Earth to Kronos, which is the Klingon capital, is ridiculous. It negates all need to have a war with the Klingons if you could just beam a bunch of torpedoes there and explode them. It is a very stupid plot device, and it irritates me. So then they have to sneak into Kronos. Apparently nobody notices them because technobabble. And then they meet up with Benedict Cumberbatch, who they don't know is Khan, and then he agrees to go with them. And then he tells them his name is Khan, which has zero impact to these characters because they don't know who Khan is. That moment is completely unearned. And I think it was Lindelof who was saying it. It's like, and the big moment for us in this movie is when he says, I'm Khan. It's like, and if we don't nail that, we completely miss the point of the movie. It's like, yeah, bro, you completely missed the point of the movie because it just doesn't make sense in the context of the conversation for the characters that are interacting with Khan to give a crap if his name is Khan or
Hank
Snoochy Booches.
I am Snoochy Booches. What?
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
That would make the movie better if it wasn't Khan and he was Snoochy Booches.
Hey, why not? Played by Jason Mewes.
Sorry.
And then he has a Gollum-like reflection in the mirror, which is Kevin Smith, who he's always talking to.
Yes. All right, then what else happens?
Then they have to go and attack the Badmiral ship to get all of Khan's torpedo people back, because all of his people have been loaded into torpedoes to hide them for reasons. And Alice Eve gets naked for some reason. And then I think to remind us that there is an attractive woman on screen, so she had to strip down to her underwear. That was a very important plot point, obviously.
And they somehow made it 17,000 times more gratuitous than when Zoe Saldaña had to do it in the first one.
Yeah, it was quite impressive, really. And then there was some more battling, and the Enterprise was broken, and Kirk had to go and fix the warp core and have his death scene in the warp core. And then Spock had to shout Khan, which is one of the most unearned moments. And then for some reason, they were right next to Earth again. And So they end the movie just like they ended Star Trek 2009 by trying to blow up San Francisco. And there are fisticuffs, but then they're not able to kill Khan because they need his magic blood to save Kirk. The magic blood that was. Oh, and Pike died somewhere in the middle. And
Yeah.
that was kind of a. But yeah, it was just. And we said this with 2009 as well. It is a series of wouldn't it be cool if.
Yeah.
And that's what we get. We get a series of wouldn't it be cool if set pieces strung together with a loose thread connecting them, but it just doesn't work. It's a mess.
The first one works because it's so propulsive. And
Yes.
even though Kirk is the worst, it just moves so fast and the cast is so good that you're like, whatever, man. It was cool. I liked it. Got Star Trek: A New Generation. When I watched this, I knew nothing about Khan. I watched Wrath of Khan with you, like on this series. So even though I knew Khan, you just know that. But when what's interesting, I thought, if you don't know who Khan is, and he says I'm Khan, like who? Like that's okay. Me and a lot of the population have no idea what Khan is. When he says I'm Khan, you're like, okay, cool. And then when he said I am Khan, everyone who knew Star Trek went, yeah, no shit. Like this is weird.
Very obvious.
Yeah. So you lose it. And then you have just Kirk. Like so I knew nothing about that. But then I was like, Kirk's not gonna die. Like they're not gonna kill Kirk. Like Kirk's not dead. Like I know Nimoy wanted to get killed off in that movie, but this one they're just like, yeah, let's just kill somebody and then bring him back with magic blood. And there's a whole death scene, and you're like, oh my gosh. And like he doesn't die. But the thing is with this movie, it moves so fast. Like just Kirk's hooking up with twins with tails, I believe.
Yes.
Which, I mean, they're adults in an alien species who knows what the thing is on their world. But it's like, I feel like Orsi and all them were like, it'd be cool. Kirk is hooking up with twins. Like, you're just, yeah.
Well, just like in the first one, wouldn't it be cool if Kirk was hooking up with a green, sexy alien?
Yeah. And Uhura comes in and strips. Like, just, jeez Louise, guys. And then you have Alice Eve, who, was kind of crazy. I like it, though. I think this was good for cinema, where she goes and has the most gratuitous stripping scene of all time. And everyone just went, ugh. Like, you just watch it and you're just going, guys, like, this is not, like, this isn't the 80s anymore. Like, this is maybe more gratuitous than the stuff in the 80s, because I don't know, that's what you did. And like, her character's wasted. And then the fist fight at the end, and like, you don't give the characters anything. So they're like, Uhura, be mad at Spock, and then make a speech about talking to the Klingons. That does nothing. And then they're like, hey, John Cho, you get to threaten people, but that does nothing. Like, they give all, like, we need to give the character.
I did enjoy Sulu's Sulu's speech, where he was kind of saying, I will blow you up. Yeah, I will blow you up. Do not test me. I'm like, okay, that is pretty badass.
Like, I guess it's, if you're going to give him something to do, that's fine. But they're just, you feel like they're like, okay, we need to give them something to do, so I'll just write it. And I just think, I don't think any of these guys wanted to write this. I think they were all busy with other things. They write it.
Yeah, they were trying to wrap up Lost, and they were working on
Fringe,
17 other projects,
everything. And so I don't think they wanted to make it. And then I think JJ went, oh no, this is bad. Like, he said he didn't like the script, so he just tried to make it fast paced. And I think he succeeded.
He wasn't originally signed on to direct. He only signed on kind of almost as a rescue mission for a bit of continuity.
So then he comes on and just doesn't like it. But it sounds like a classic JJ. Because remember Lost, he's like, polar bear, smoke monster, I'm out. Like, I think he did that to these guys. He's like, I want this. So then they did it, and then he had to come direct it. So I kind of love that he had to stick around. Had to
clean up his own mess.
Yes. Because he said that he just wrote scenes that he wasn't happy with, and he pushed them in other directions, and then he had to come in and direct it. And you watch these scenes, like the scene where Spock and Khan are moving towards the tiniest hole ever, and Scotty has to deal with that with the long hallway. I think just the bit, it's Scotty in the bar. They're talking to Scotty from another planet. Like, that's a long range communicator. by the way. So they're doing that. And then like, I think they just made it so zippy. Like this is a movie that's fast. Like they're the action scene in the beginning, then they start fighting, then things blow up, and then they go to a planet, there's another fight, then they get Khan back, but then there's another fight, the warp core gets destroyed, and then they go to the other ship, and there's a big fight there, and then you think the movie's over, but then Khan smashes it, blows up San Francisco, and then they have to fist fight, and then he has to rescue. Like, it's just every 3 minutes there's something going zoom, 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 like it's going warp speed. So I think you can trick audiences in a first time who are just looking for a summer blockbuster to be like, okay, fast things are happening, there's good looking people on screen, it's good enough. But like when you start thinking about it, that's when it falls apart. And it did for, I remember in the theater, I just went, ooh.
That can be true for a lot of JJ's work.
Yeah.
They are a good endorphin hit on the first go round, but when you go around and watch them again, you start to see the plywood on the scenery.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially this one. It's like the first one,
Yeah.
you know what's nice about the first one? I like the practical locations he goes to. Like, even though it was a Budweiser plant, I like that they were at a Budweiser plant. I like that sets were built. Like, I like when you watch his movies, he does a good job of sets. Like the Mission Impossible bridge scene, that's a bridge surrounded by green screen, but it looked great the way he did it. So he does a good job of incorporating practical effects with
this
visual
movie
effects.
is the same.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Movie, there's a ton of really, really good physical effect work and in-camera work and kind of blending the CGI with the in-camera stuff. The volcano stuff at the start, they had a physical rig where they were firing sparks up and they filled in the lava around this thing in post, but they actually filmed a situation and it got hot and it was kind of like being there. And the warp core was filmed at a fusion reactor. It's not that far removed from an actual warp core. And I like that they did that. And that's why I kind of say that this is possibly one of the best polished turds I've seen. It is a very, very, very well made movie with just these fatal flaws that I can't ignore.
And I love JJ's honesty, though. He admits, I didn't like the script. I don't even know what Kirk and Spock are fighting about. And like, he's like, yeah, we made a mistake by law. Like, Simon Pegg's out there going, it's not Khan. Everyone's like, it's not Khan. And it doesn't matter. Like, everyone was just lying. You know why? Because I guess they blamed Paramount because Paramount didn't want to tie the movie to the old Star Trek. They wanted new Trek. John Harrison, baby, with Cumberbatch, with Sherlock, and just we're gonna make this movie cool, and we're not gonna tie it back to the old ones. But then they had to lie about it, and then they brought it back. So, like I said, new audiences were like, who? Old audiences were like, yeah, I know. And Montalban, just between his pecs and how interesting his role was, and his crew is great in Wrath of Khan. You like his crew, like the crew have a personality,
and the crew were a modicum of speaking sense. They were saying, "Hey, we've got a spaceship. You could not go on mad revenge quest." It's like, don't be silly. I must get Kirk.
They were Scotty Evil in him. I have a gun. Let's go shoot him. And then this one, it's Cumberbatch. I'm going to say it. He has a great screen presence. He does good with the physicality, but this is a nothing character. There's nothing to this man. He's just evil. And then the silliest part of this movie. Hey, Spock, I got a question. Do you know this guy named Khan? I've said something that I would never do. I would never mess with your timeline to affect. And there's that being
apart
said,
from when I did it in the last movie.
Yeah. And I love, he goes, that being said, and you're like, oh, like it's a.
So let me tell you the story of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
And Kirk isn't there, so he doesn't know about sacrificing himself. And it's just, yeah, this is an absolute polished turd. Costumes are good. I mean, listen, anytime Anton Yelchin has passed, but anytime you have Anton Yelchin, John Cho, Chris Pine, Carl Urban, Peter Weller, Benedict Cumberbatch, Zoe Saldana, Alice Eve, any Bruce Greenwood, anytime John Cho, like Simon Pegg, anytime you have them together on screen, they're great. They pop on screen, they look good. And so it's like they do so much heavy lifting in this movie. And Quinto, they do so much heavy lifting. But it's like Zoe Saldana's just mad at Spock the entire time. And he's like, I don't, but I like it. Now, the thing about this movie is I understand it. And those very candid interviews from J.J. Abrams make me understand it more. He didn't like this. Like, he didn't like the script. He didn't understand any of the conflicts. So he's like, I just made it good. And lucky my cast was good. Is what he said. So
yeah, I saw that particular snippet. He was very much complimentary to the presence of the cast being able to sell it.
this nonsense. People are teleporting from Earth to the Klingon home planet. It's, Peter Weller's bad. Khan is bad. Like, did Kirk and Spock fight? Okay, so Kirk in this one, right? They talk about his evolution. So in the first one, he's just like a ladies' man who has to learn some responsibilities. This one, he's a ladies' man who still hasn't learned responsibilities. He's breaking prime directives left and right. He's lying on reports, putting his crew in danger, changing cultures to worship new gods, sleeping with twins. And then he's like, you know what? They killed my guy. I'm going to go take this ship loaded with missiles I know nothing about. I'm going to go to the Klingon homeworld and, cause some damage. Now, credit to him, he doesn't send the missiles down. He tries to get Khan, bring him back. And then I guess eventually he learns to be like a better captain, which you see in Star Trek Beyond. But it's just like, there's really no mission. It's just I don't like movies when the whole lesson that the characters learn is like, hey man, think a little bit, listen to your crew, be a leader. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't.
The issue, the core of that issue is they changed Kirk's backstory. So in Prime Universe, Shatner's Kirk, his father was in Starfleet. He went to the academy. He went and worked on various ships, got promoted into a command position, then got promoted to be captain of the Enterprise, rather than being almost kicked out of the academy and the same day ending up captain of the Enterprise, having not even completed his studies.
Oh man. So then, but that's annoying. I don't like movies where an awesome guy has to become more awesome. Like, I don't like those movies. I don't. Like, I'm an awesome guy. I'm a womanizer, but I got issues. But at the end of the movie, I'm more awesome. And you're just like, ugh. I don't know. I think it's lucky that it's Chris Pine, because he can add an element of like Chris Pininess to it, which I can't really explain, but he's a rakish guy. He can do it. He's the one actor of all the Chris's, he could do this. And
well, we went into that last time.
We did, yeah.
The appropriateness of Chris's.
Yeah, and he's appropriate here. But and like the whole gunfight on the Klingon planet, it doesn't do anything. Nothing is proven. It just, this guy's tough. But
it's like I was just listening to our First Contact episode. It's like Worf getting punched or Worf getting knocked out. It's like, we need to show this guy's tough, so let's have them have this big fight scene to show how tough this guy is.
Knock out Worf, knock him out. And I just really 7.7 on IMDb. Can we explore that? I know is it because it's a polished turd?
I think so. I think it probably has quite. So if I look at the breakdown of the ratings, it's got 4.7K. So it's got what? 505K. 4.1% of those are 1 star. Up to kind of around 6, you get 8%, 7, 22%, 8, 32%, and then only 20, and then about another 30% are 9s or 10s. So it's got, so either everyone on IMDb who's rated it seems to see it, or most people who have rated it seem to see things differently. Like, we break it into thirds. It's basically the bottom third is kind of all the way up to 1 to 7, and then you've got 8, and then you've got 9 and 10. Those would be the buckets.
Jeez Louise. What is there to love about this movie, though, to give it an 8, 9, or 10?
I kind of harp on to the production value, but it is very, very, very well made. The effects are excellent. All the stuff that's done in camera and enhanced with CG, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's
it was nominated for best visual effects.
It's well shot.
Yeah.
The cast is extremely well cast.
Dan
If you were
Mindell knows how to
just
film something for sure. He's a good cinematographer.
if you were just trying to assemble the bits of what is a good movie, you have most of them there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I guess it comes down to more extreme nitpicking that can cause someone to go off this movie. But it causes a lot of people to go extremely off it. I think it's quite polarizing. There's not a, oh, I didn't like it a little bit because of this can thing. It's either, oh, I didn't mind that, and the rest of the movie, I enjoyed the speed and the pace, and it was good, versus, ugh, I can't believe they've done that. That is awful. I hate it.
Do you you know what's interesting? I think the nitpicks are justified in this movie. Do you not?
Yeah, I think it comes across as lazy, and as I said to you when we were talking about earlier in the week, there was one F-bomb in Star Trek Picard, and it was an admiral saying to Picard that he was full of sheer fucking hubris. And that's what I like in the production of this movie. They had the hubris to try to remake Wrath of Khan without having earned the story beats leading up to it.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? You're right, because Khan was introduced earlier in the Star Trek OG series, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And
He was in episodes.
we had that entire backstory. We had a movie. It was earned, and they had 3 seasons of a relationship. This one, these guys have known each other for a couple of years, and they were fighting for most of this movie. So then at the end, when they're so emotional with each other, I just think if you're basing your movie on several core incidents, like Khan is not handled well. The death of Kirk is not handled well. So, like, I guess all you have to rely on is, yes, this movie is bright and fun, and it goes by quick. And at 2013, Benny Cumby was kind of the internet's boyfriend. Like, people loved that guy in 2013. So just having him in your movie, everyone's happy about Benny. Well, actually, who's not happy about it? A lot of people weren't too happy, like Sulu, Takai, George Takai. He's like, yeah, like it was originally Sing, played by Ricardo Montalban. He's like, I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but you can't cast like a white British guy to play the villain. He's like, what happened with? Because they were supposed to get Benicio del Toro, and that would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
Yes, exactly. It might have been too much of a giveaway, but he has.
The thing is, there was no need for it to be a giveaway if they just admitted what they were doing and gone whole hog. I'd just be like, we've cast Benicio del Toro as Khan, no misdirection, and then the audience will be like, okay, we've got Khan. Let's see what they're going to do with Khan, rather than this. Oh, look over here! Look over here! We're not doing Khan. We're not doing Khan. And look, it's Khan.
Oh man, they were pretty tone deaf on a lot of this. So I like your hubris. They brought in Khan without any of the backstory and not earning it at all. When Alice Eve, when they were getting pushed,
you didn't have the enough of the relationship built on screen between the characters either.
None of it. And then Alice Eve, when they were getting pushed back, they went, "Oh, here's a deleted scene of Khan showering. So look at Benedict Cumberbatch shirtless." Like, guys, that doesn't
fix things. That just shows you're making 2 bad choices and you roll back one of them.
And then also, I think Lindelof said this. Why is Alice Eve in her underwear gratuitously and unnecessary? Why is Alice Eve in her underwear gratuitously and unnecessarily, without any real effort made as to why in God's name we should undress her in that circumstance? So Lindelof responded, "Well, there's a very good answer for that, but I'm not telling you what it is because mystery." Like, he didn't even give a response to it. He just said like the mystery box from JJ.
It just irritates me so much. And I think it's possibly because I am burnt out on JJ mystery box storytelling.
Yeah.
And this is a particularly egregious example of it.
It really is. I mean, look at what is the chimera? No, the lion, rabbit's foot in Mission Impossible 3. They're like, we're not telling you. And then they finally do in the later ones, but it's like, yeah, we're not telling you. And You know what's interesting? Paramount's like, listen, guys, don't bring Khan into this. Just don't do it. Like, we don't need to tie Khan. We don't need this. And like, we're doing it anyway. And then we're gonna lie about it. And it's such a odd, but I love it. Like JJ really said, he said that the movie, he said the movie is, I like it. I like that. I like that he admits that he didn't like any of his decisions. Oh man. He said, I was encouraging the writers in certain directions and we were working on the script and putting it together. But by the time we started shooting, and this was literally at the very beginning of the shoot, there were certain things I was unsure of. There's a fundamental argument, there's a central question, and I didn't have it, which is, I mean, listen,
Which is not what you want from your director.
he's lucky. You know what though? He got lucky though, because like you said, his crew knew how to shoot the thing, and there's giant sets. And I love that they're on the Klingon home planet. That's a big set. I like the guns that are in people's hands. I appreciate the performances. It's
Like the space skydiving sequence, that's they've done one of those in the previous one as well, but that
they're
whole
doing it
space
beyond
flying
too, right?
that's a fun kind of set piece.
Yeah. Just it's closing, and then Simon Pegg's the MVP. Do you think Simon Pegg is the MVP of this?
I think he was one of the few who understood the travesty that it was, and it was just like, I want nothing to do with this. I'm out. It was almost a wink to the camera. It's like, don't do it, Captain.
Oh man, and listen, JJ gave, Simon Pegg was big in the Cornetto trilogy, but when he cast him in Mission Impossible 3, Simon Pegg was going down a rough road with like drinking, and he met Tom Cruise, he got sober, then he got cast in Star Trek, he's in this. So, I think Simon Pegg's going to keep showing up for JJ, but he changed a lot in Star Trek Beyond, that's for sure. But I think the best thing about him is he's like, no, I'm not putting these missiles on. We're not put. What are these missiles? Why are we doing these missiles?
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm not putting a missile that I can't even scan what's inside it next to my highly explosive warp core that seems to explode on a regular basis.
We have enough problems with it as it is. And so, I like that. I like when he's drunk at the bar. I like that he sneaks on he gets on that ship pretty easily. I like the long tunnel
if
bit.
you can beam yourself anywhere in the universe, I guess.
It's true.
It's not that hard.
And then he's like, I do like, are you private security or are you that? Because then he kills the guy. I mean, it's a good little scene, and it's really unnecessary for drama. Like, how do we establish drama? Well, isn't going through a field drama enough? No. Okay, well then they got to open the door at this time, and you can't miss it because the radar is gone. It's like a Mission Impossible scene. It truly is. It's problems on problems on problems in this scene. But he's fun in that, and I like that he comes back later. And I think he's the most enjoyable part of this movie for me, because he doesn't have any of the drama, and he realizes how dumb it all is.
There wasn't enough of Karl Urban in it either.
No,
his bones is fantastic, and I just want more of him.
Yeah.
I don't like the Uhura Spock relationship.
No. And why make them fight?
Just have them be adults who are in a relationship. They don't need to fight all the time.
That's such a JJ thing though, man. Mission Impossible 3, let's give like an alias. I'm a spy. I can't really have boyfriends because I have relationship problems. In Mission Impossible 3, I'm a spy. I have a girlfriend. She gets kidnapped. In this one, you just have them fighting, and he sacrifices himself because that's what's right, which is a dumb. He's smarter than that. And then she's mad at him for most of it, but then a speech happens, and then it's just, yeah, why? Like, why? I don't know. I guess you got to ramp it up, and I do think audiences liked it, but man, like I don't know what they were doing here. I don't know.
It's
well,
it was super disappointing, I think, as well, because it was coming off the high of 2009, which was a great reboot for the franchise.
Yes. And then you just go right back to Khan. But you know what? We were talking about our Star Trek Generations episode, and we were saying that we were a little down on it, which is fair. But I think we also explained why. And I think we're being down on this movie, but we also understand that JJ's not happy with it. Like he didn't know what it was. So I don't think that we're sitting here saying this sucks. I don't think we're pulling out Star Trek nitpicks. I think we're just more like, hey, this movie looks great, but the creators weren't too happy with it. Lindelof couldn't even explain things about it. Everyone was working on other things. This took forever to write. It almost felt forced into existence, and JJ was ripped back onto it. So
it's the classic. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
yes, exactly. And as any director who made a movie that it has good scores and made money, it warranted a sequel. As any, sure, okay, that yeah. And so he doesn't have to admit that this movie is bad because no director should have to do that. But I do think that he's been open enough about it. So it's not hard to nitpick at because I think we understand why it is what it is.
But
And
then somehow it's got an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Shiny lights, man. Shiny lights. Lens flares. Gratuitous.
Which were toned down this time. The lens flares were at least slightly less obvious.
Gratuitous skin shots. The internet's boyfriend. Drama. Like it is. I think it is kind of a summer blockbustery type movie, and I don't get it. I don't get it. This is a flummoxing one for me to see the score so high.
I think if this wasn't trying to be a Star Trek movie and it was just a generic sci-fi action thing, you can probably forgive it for a lot of the stuff that they did because they haven't besmirched prior art in coming to it.
Yeah. And I guess if you're a critic who gave this, the 84, are you just saying it looked good? But I mean,
maybe
when I watched it, I just was like, Kirk is not going to die. This is a waste of time. Like I get annoyed by that in movies. Like, he's not dead. They were messing with stuff. He has blood that cured somebody earlier. He's fine. And then when he said Khan, you're just like, I didn't even know who Khan was, but I knew who Khan was, and I knew he was Khan. I don't think this movie. I don't know how you give this a B plus or an A. I think it is just a good C for summer block, not for summer, but C for it's fine, if that makes sense.
It's a perfectly serviceable summer film with explosions, is well made, nice to look at, good acting, and you come out of the theater being like, oh yeah, that was can you remember what happened? No, not really. I just remember that there was lots of things.
Yeah, a lot. And George Takei, he's like, I didn't really understand that, and it went against Gene Roddenberry's philosophy in regards to casting Cumberbatch. But he's like, but I enjoyed the action adventure parts. So yeah, it's got action adventure, but the first scene is unnecessary. There's a boat in the water. They could just teleport them. Because
yes, but you can't teleport because plot reasons. You could because they want Kirk and Spock to be fighting for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. So but then that doesn't even make sense when you think about it. And then
so how do we fix this? So you can still start on the planet. They do their thing. It all goes, yeah, you have the set piece in the volcano. They don't see the Enterprise and they go back to Earth. Nothing changes in the plot other than, and then the side plot with Khan is going on. You still have the terrorist attack. Kirk is still in command of the Enterprise, so he still gets called to that meeting. So does Spock. Pike still dies. You have the exact same resolution there. So it's completely pointless.
It really is. And Weller's bad. That big ship isn't going to win. It's just it's really predictable stuff. But I mean, I guess if you think about
look
most Marvel stuff, it's all
Star
predictable.
Trek ship names. You've got the Enterprise, you've got the Discovery, you've got Voyager, you've got the Excelsior. And then this guy comes out with a ship called the Vengeance. What do you think that's going to be?
And that's a big ship just to be building. And I don't know. It's an odd one. It's
and it's almost like he's gone to Lucius Fox. Like, does it come in black? It's like, yeah, yes, Admiral RoboCop, we can paint it black.
Oh man. So I have no problem not being a fan of this movie because I don't think the guys who made it are. So
No,
and I think Star Trek
and I can
Beyond.
appreciate the craft. I
Yeah.
really appreciate the craft that went into it. A lot of the technical work is excellent. Like the score is good. Like Giacchino, who did the first one as well,
Yeah.
reused some of the themes. And the score works.
It's like we're sports fans. Teams we love have bad games. And there could be moments of brilliance during those bad games, singular performances, if we're talking about team sports. And just because the person loses, I'm not going to stop being a fan of the team, right? I think that's what this movie is. It just they had a bad game plan, didn't execute. They looked good at it. It was entertaining, but yeah, they lost. Like so, it's fine. And then the next Star Trek, they thought about it more, and I think they wrote a pretty good script, and they corrected a lot of the problems. They pretty much got rid of the relationship, and we'll talk about that later. But I think it's just that. I think it's just I have no ill will towards this movie. I just think they went in with a really horrible game plan, and Star Trek Beyond is better.
But it's like they, to continue with the sports analogy, it's like they got a red card in the first 5 minutes and they were playing damage control for the rest of the game.
Yes. And then one of the guys gets two
okay,
yellows by the 53rd minute and has to leave, and they're down to 9 men.
and everyone's working as hard as they can and doing their best, but it's just stacked against them.
Yeah, it's like Man U 2010, 2011 getting a red card in the first 5 minutes against Barcelona in the Champions League.
Yeah, that would not
final.
end well.
Yeah, exactly.
That would not have ended well.
Listen, they're going to work
even
hard.
Beat them with 11 men.
Yeah, they destroyed them. So they went in with 10 men, and they were playing catch up the whole time, and they tried, but it wasn't there. And so I think that negates a lot of the negativity that we've given towards this film. But yeah, I don't see how you can like a lot of the choices. But it's hard to really hate on it. You can't sit there and just hate it, just rage against the machine about it, because they'll be like, yeah, we get it. I think
it's possibly my least rewatched film.
Yeah,
of the Star Treks.
I don't want to watch this again.
I rewatch 2009 quite a bit because I like it. It's fun. I rewatch Beyond is rewatchable. Don't really rewatch Nemesis or Insurrection that often, but
I don't want to watch either of those again. Probably maybe Insurrect. No. First Contact, yes, right?
Yeah, definitely. I rewatch that all the time. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think 2, 4, and 6 are very rewatchable, and 3. 5 is rewatchable because it's crazy, and there's beam scenes.
What does God need with a starship when we've got cross galaxy teleporters now?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's good bits to that. I don't think I could watch the first one again. A lot. I would watch the first one before this one because it looks great. But yeah, it's no. This is bottom. This is close to the. I mean, listen, it's better than Nemesis to me. It's better than Insurrection. I mean, but I don't like the story in this. Niall, I don't like it. I don't like the story. I don't think it's good. I don't know why they're fighting. I don't like the breakup. I don't like Khan. I don't know why Alice Eve gets chucked in here. Weller's everything. So it's hard for me to say it's better than any of the Star Trek films.
Yeah, that's what's so frustrating about it. It's even frustrating to place because as soon as you start digging into it, you're like, hang on, I didn't like all of these things about it, but I did like some things.
Yeah. And then you go, wait, I don't like this movie at all. And then it's over. And you just want to go watch Star Trek Beyond to go see Sofia Boutella be hilarious.
She's awesome. I love her character in that.
My house.
She was a breath of fresh air.
Do I have to wear a uniform? The uniform? She's great. She's the best. Oh man, that's like in the pantheon of supporting characters in Star Trek, she's definitely one of the best, I think.
Well, in this one, we didn't really have any.
None.
You had Alice Eve, who probably had about 3 lines and was like, "Daddy, don't blow us up. I'm on this ship." "What are you doing there, daughter?" "Maybe I won't blow you up if you're there. I'll just beam you off there."
And he's shooting him from light speed.
Mm.
That's tough. You know how far that missile, like those rays, have to travel, or whatever they're in light speed. They're going. I'm not sure how fast they're going, but that's a long shot that covers a lot of distance.
Theoretically, they explain it by them being in a shared bubble of warp. That's how they tend to hand wave those things, where your warp bubbles interact. So the space between you is actually normal space.
Warp bubbles?
Yeah. I'll send you the technical specifications of Star Trek warp drives. If you want to
good.
really, but
Okay.
yeah, no, that's kind of that's how they hand wave it away. It's typically they say they let them fire torpedoes at warp, but you can't fire the phasers at warp.
Okay. Got it. It's also silly. And then Peter Weller just gets his head smushed.
Yeah, but he deserved it because he's a bad Merle.
So many bad morals. This show. We did it, Niall.
It's
We have 2 left. We have a good one and a bad
2
one
left.
left.
We have a good one and an absolute train wreck. It's spectacularly bad.
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm kind of interested to see if it's as bad as I think it is when I go and rewatch it, because on first watch I was like, why?
And then, you know what though? I find bad watches aren't as, you get it out of your system and then you can just watch it, I think.
Yeah, and I think I'll be able to actually look at it in a more dispassionate way when I'm actually looking at it, rather than watching it expecting some manner of enjoyment.
And well, Section 31's mentioned in this movie.
It is. I think this is the first on-screen mention, at least in the films, of Section 31. Showed up in Deep Space Nine a little bit in the series, but
You ready to get out of here?
yeah, I'm quite pleased to not have to speak about this movie again.
Yeah. Beyond.
Beyond will be fun. Beyond
Yes.
is a very fun movie. We can discuss usages of Beastie Boys songs in media.
I like the screaming and the melodies. Is that what she says? Legend. So, okay, hey, for the next one though, I want to do a, who's in that? I want to do a, we got to talk a little bit about Justin Lin's Fast and Furious films. We'll talk later. But hey, thank you, Niall, for joining me. Follow my social media channels. I can share those. I love this series. Anything else, Niall?
No, all good. We'll look forward to the next one.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Niall Moore, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.